So you're on SSRI day one, or you're not even taking it yet and you're just thinking about going on it. I was in that period for a long time, and I found I didn't want to take anything that wasn't natural. I was wrong. I didn't want to take anything natural because I thought that meant that it wouldn't make me who I was and my personality wouldn't be who I am, and it would just be fake. It was like taking a drug. So I didn't take an SSRI for a very long time. I tried other stuff. I tried yoga, I tried meditation, I tried working out, running, and those things did help some, and they did help at the time, but I found when I wasn't doing them, or if I got off schedule, then I would struggle. And it turns out those tended to be the more temporary things for me. I finally gave in and took my SSRI. I take Zoloft 100 milligrams. And what I've found is after getting through the initial side effects that are terrible, they make you think it's making you crazy, and it's really tough to get through that. Once I was through all that, and it had been a couple months, then I started to see the results, and I feel more me now than I ever did doing the other stuff. I feel like all the fog has lifted. I feel like I did when I was a teenager or a kid. I feel way more confident. I don't have nearly as much anxiety. I still have all my problems, but I don't dwell on them like I did before. For me, I found out that taking a medication was actually a lot better than doing, I know it sounds crazy because it's against what everybody says, but it was much better than trying to not take anything and just work out and do yoga and meditation and eat right. It sounds so crazy because those things do help. But for me, the medication has done way more than those ever did. And it still works when I'm not doing those things. Those things actually enhance it. So when I'm doing the medication and those things, it's even better. Those things are very important. Working out is huge for me. And I feel absolutely amazing when I'm doing all those things. But if I'm not doing those things and I'm on the medication, I still feel pretty good. I still feel pretty great. I don't need those things like I did before. Those things are just added benefits. They give me a little bit extra great feelings, but I don't have to do them. I can still be happy without them, and I didn't think that was possible. I thought my natural state, if I wasn't doing those things, was very depressed and not happy and very anxious. So, I'm 39, and it took me 20 years to figure this stuff out. Going on and off medications, tons of different ones. Not doing medications, using drugs and alcohol to replace it. I've done everything. I used testosterone for 10 years. It's crazy. I think I got on TRT. I tried everything. I did acupuncture, massages. I went to the chiropractor a bunch. And none of those things stuck. They didn't stay. They worked temporary. They worked at the time. But the next day, I was back in my state, and I was back making the same mistakes I was always making, and using the same instant gratification that I've always been using. And those took me down a road that just messed my life up even more. Drugs, alcohol, homelessness. I've been through a lot. And I'm glad I went through those things because it made me stronger, and it's just given me more experience that I can share. There's a cool quote that I always think about it, like, the more you experience, the more of you there is. So like when we're a kid, we don't have much experience, so there's not as much of us. But as we get older, we've had so much more experience that you're able to tackle things that you weren't before because you've learned how to do it. You know, you've learned how to change, how to handle life struggles. Like my dad died 8 years ago, and that was a experience that helped me. I didn't handle it great at the time, but now when anybody else dies, I know how to handle it because I got more experience. I went through that first time and it wasn't great. I went through a breakup with somebody I really loved, and years passed, and it's like, oh, I see what I did, or I see how I contributed to that breakup. It wasn't the other person's fault. You know, it was both had things to do with it. I didn't communicate well. So now for my next relationship, hopefully I won't make those same mistakes, or at least I'll be aware of them. So the more you experience, the more of you there is. So going on this medication allows me to experience more. It allows me to be more calm and choose what I experience and choose the type of life I want without the anxiety that comes with everyday life like it did before. And another great benefit is it makes you want to know people better. And I think this is like one of the best benefits it's been for me is I like people. I like people that I used to not like. It's weird. And it's not like these were people that did anything to me. It was just, I don't particularly care for this person's personality, or like at work, I think this person kind of sucks at the job, so I would write them off as useless, or I'd write them off as like, that person is, you know, whatever. Now I can separate those things. I can be like, this person's not great at their job, but like, they're still a person, they're still interesting. Like, what else is there to them? And I can still talk to them, and I can still feel that they probably aren't that great at their job, but I can not judge them as hard, and I can not throw them away. I want to know them, who they are, their personality, where they come from, their stories. It just makes you more curious about other people, which is really interesting. And it's very helpful in personal relationships. You know, serotonin is that bonding chemical, and SSRIs are a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it helps you have more, it prevents the reuptake of serotonin in your brain once it's released, so it stays in your brain longer. And that is like the bonding, you know, that's the thing that's released when you're hanging out with your friends. So you kind of get that friendship feeling with people that you aren't necessarily that close with. And then the people you are close with, you get that even more. You feel even more connected to them. So it's just a little boost. And it's not like, because I've taken every drug, it's not like a drug. I don't feel high. When you first start taking it, you'll have periods where you're like, you do feel high. It like throws you way up here, and then comes down here, and then it slowly balances out to like here. And you were here, so now you're here. And it just, it feels like I'm normal. It feels like I just don't have any anxiety. So I feel more normal than I do without it, which is crazy because all that anxiety is gone. So it feels like maybe 30% of my brain's constantly like on guard from all these fears I have, and you know, financial insecurity, scared about that, past regrets, my own character defects, my own lack of ability to have a relationship with somebody. You know, I don't have kids, I don't have a girlfriend or wife, and all that stuff eats away at me. What's wrong with me type of stuff. My job, it's not a great job, so that makes me feel less secure and less confident, especially when I'm trying to date. You know, I'm kind of embarrassed about what I do for work. So my brain's constantly being attacked by all these fears, and I'm going back and forth of like resentments against family, for why I am this way, like why I was raised the way I was, why people haven't done what I feel like they should have done. And I get self-involved. I don't see them as people. I see them as they should have done this. And that's the wrong way to look at it, because they are just people. They're just humans that make mistakes, and they're doing the best they can. And what the medication allows me to do is all that stuff was, the volume turns down. It's like it was here, now it's here. I still am aware of those things, but I don't feel any kind of resentment about it. I don't care that those things happened. I'm actually almost happy those things happened and the people did the things they did, because it's allowed me to be in this situation right now. And I've had so much experience with the negative sides of life and the pitfalls and the things that can go wrong, that now when things are just okay, they feel amazing, because I don't have any major problems I have to deal with right now. So all these resentments about those things I just mentioned, the volume's turned way down, and I don't really feel it. I don't really care about it. It's fine. I forgive. I can forgive all that, and I can feel confident that I am who I am. People will like me for me. I may not have the perfect situation, but that's part of what comes with me, and it allows me to be more accepting of other people that don't have their life completely together, and we can figure it out together. You know, I just have more ability to see a way to the life I want. What else? Yeah, I think it's for me. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. I think I probably would have kept relapsing and kept using drugs and alcohol and opiates to manage my moods, and manage my anxiety in my life, and I would have just got stuck there, and I probably would have eventually died. You know, my heart would have given out, or my kidneys and liver. You know, when I was drinking, the last couple years I was drinking, every time I drink, like, because I only drink hard, I'd have to be in bed for a day at least, because my kidneys and my liver would hurt. So it was getting scary. You know, it was getting like there's consequences that are coming. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I tried so hard. I've been to so many AA meetings. I've done, you know, and the resentments would always bring me back into it. I'd always get resentful that I'm trying so hard and nobody else seems to be. And, you know, your brain tricks you. It creates resentments to give you an excuse to go back to the substance you're using. Because I'm taking this medication, all those resentments have gone down. Like I said, the volume's been turned down on them. So I don't need to use those substances to get rid of those resentments. So I found something that's allowed me to be resentment free, so that I can work on my life and improve things, save money, and not get caught back in that cycle. And that's what it does for me. It's been a lifesaver, and I'm just so grateful. I just feel so much more gratitude than I've ever felt. I don't know that I really knew what gratitude was, because I would get so self-involved, and I would be so self-involved for years at a time. And now that I don't really have any problems, you know, relatively, like no immediate problems. I have a place to live. I have a job. You know, I obviously have problems, but they're not like the problems before, where I'm like worrying about overdosing while I'm living in my car that's check engine light's been on for months, and it's got like a leaking tire, and it's winter and I don't have an air, you know, or it's summer and I don't have an air conditioner. I lived in there for 3.5 years. So these problems I have today, they're not problems. They're minor annoyances. They're nothing major. And it allows me to be more grateful for the little things, like just the weather change, that it's winter. I love the winter. I can't wait. I can't wait for the holidays. I can't wait for Halloween. I can't wait to start lighting candles in the cold and at night, to read my book by candlelight at night. All these little things are so awesome now. Like they're just so amazing compared to like before when I would be like, oh, I'm just reading, who cares, you know? But now it's like, dude, thank God. Thank God I'm just reading. Um, so yeah, I know those first, I'm gonna do more videos on Zoloft and SSRIs because that seems to be what people want to hear about according to my analytics. And I have just a lot of experience, and I know there's not a lot out there because I remember when I was going on, I was constantly searching for success stories and positive things and will I ever be okay? Is this how I'm supposed to feel, or is this how it's going to be? Why do I feel crazy? Why do I feel like it's making me worse? I'm even more depressed since I started taking it. Things like that. Uh, that first month is really tough, and really then it just kind of levels off and you don't really feel much. It's for me, it really didn't start working until 2 months in, and not drinking at all. Drinking seems to really mess it up, and make it not work. So that would be my suggestion. This is not medical advice, but it's my suggestion to not drink while you're on it, because it just has a weird effect where it makes my depression worse. All right, well, I'm gonna leave it at that, and just stay tuned for more. Thanks. See ya. It's gonna get better.